Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television, live from our headquarters in Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. I am Bable Jonathan. In our top stories in this edition of the news, a child dies in a fire incident in the West Regional Chief Town, Bafoussam. The child was burnt to death in the course of the inferno in that part of the country. We'll be bringing you details in this edition of the news. And out of the country, the World Health Organization instructs countries around the world to stop the administration of the AstraZeneca anti-COVID-19 vaccination on grounds that there have been several reports of complications developed by some persons after the administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. We begin this newscast in the West region of the Republic of Cameroon with this human interest story. A child who dies in a fire incident in the town of Bafoussam. The child was burnt to death in the course of the inferno, whose cause is yet to be clearly established. Smanjikan Gabriel.
Shock and grief at the Camden family residence in Bafoussam, West region of Cameroon. The high emotions follow the painful death of young Ivor Mark, engulfed by flames in a burning family house at the Meri rural neighborhood of the city of Bafoussam. According to the mother of the deceased, the incident occurred at night.
At night, he went to sleep in their room in the next building as usual. I stayed in the parlor in this building and later fell asleep. Suddenly, the lights went off and I left the parlor to my room. Just when I could sleep, I got someone shouting, "Fire! Fire!" I opened the door and realized that the main building was in flames. I went towards the door, knocked and called my son, but my son could not come. I called my stepmother, who succeeded to come out through the window, and I kept calling my son, to no avail.
A version of the story that ties with that of other family members and victims.
Neighbors called me at about 2 a.m. and told me that fire has consumed 4 shops here and killed a child who was asleep. The grandmother, who was also in the building, struggled out through the window.
An unfortunate incident which occurred while others were out for a week.
There was a funeral here at Total and other children were there. The late Ivor decided to go home, that he did not want to stay out for long due to the cold weather.
Curious enough, the ravaged residence is located just few meters away from the Bafoussam base of the firefighting unit of the Cameroonian army.
There were people drinking next door but could not help when the bag rider alerted them.
Apart from the demise of 14-year-old Ivor Mark, enormous material loss has been registered from the 4 shops and 1 family residence ravaged. The pain is inestimable.
For me, I'm Stone Sander reporting there. This new divisional officer of the Mayo Chanaga division says that inhabitants of his area of command guilty of cooperating with militants of the Nigerian terrorist sect Boko Haram will be severely punished according to the law. He was making that declaration after his visit to the localities in his area of command. Manjika Gabriel has more.
It was a hectic trip for the newly installed senior divisional officer of Mayo Chanaga to Mozogo on his maiden Meet the People tour after taking up duties. David Dako Dibango went through the same pains and sufferings the population have been witnessing on a stretch of road whose construction work have been abandoned for the past 7 years. The 35-kilometer stretch of road from Mokolo to Mogode or Mokolo Turu is a veritable nightmare. Apart from the road wahala, the population of Mozogo told the new SDO that for 3 years they have been without a leader since Jalamido died. They also complained about the unavailability of potable drinking water from Mozogo. The SDO moved over to Buha, a village in the borderline between Cameroon and Nigeria, where the inhabitants have been suffering from continuous Boko Haram attacks. The inhabitants of Buha told the new SDO to increase security as they suffer each time having to pay ransom when Boko Haram kidnap one of them. The same Islamist set steal their cattle. The Vigilante Committee of Buha also told the senior administrative official that they lack the equipment to push away Boko Haram from attacking them. The SDO made this general appraisal after his first 2 stopover.
We have taken some measures to ask the population and the elite of the place that they to put in place some conditions of the population to have a good life of their children and to fight against the insecurity which are taking much place in this unit.
Concerning the different problems faced by the 2 villages he visited, the SDO gave firm instructions to the divisional officers of the locality.
We have asked the DO to make sure that all the persons who are doing that kind of activity should be arrested and give to the forces of law in order that they should be bring to the justice.
The senior divisional officer is expected to continue his Meet the People tour to different villages within his zone of jurisdiction.
Employees of the Agricultural Research Institute for Development in Dibamba in the littoral region of the country have downed their tools. They are protesting against some irregularities, notably the failure by the administration of the institution to increase their salary and also to give them some production bonuses and as well as insurance coverage. And they are now going without work. They are not going to work, and they are asking that if this is not done, they will not return to work, as Innocent as a reports.
With exasperated looks and hands supporting their jaw, these employees of the Agricultural Research Institute for Development, IRAD, Dibamba branch in the littoral region say reasons for protesting are numerous, including no distinction awards, non-payment of production and other bonuses.
Our advantages have been completely deduced from our salaries, making our salaries to become very little. And with that situation, we cannot cope with it. We want our advantages that have been reduced to be restored back in our salaries, meaning the prime the position and the prime the responsibility. For a long time now, we don't have our allowances. Children, we don't have money for our children. We don't know what is going on. The parents are too much. We are working. We do not have distinctions. When we are going on retirement, what is going to prove that we were working? We don't have medals. Nothing. We need all these things. There are so many.
All of them, since 12 years, have not benefited health coverage despite the dangers involved in carrying out their activities.
Our problem of CNPS, our hospital is empty. When we are sick, we are the ones to buy our drugs. We are the ones to go to the hospital. With what type of salary are we going to treat ourselves?
Another reason that pushed them to rise up with placards bearing different messages is the suspension of their personnel representative. They demand his return.
Our president, our delegate, Mr. Fongon Jonathan, who has been suspended for reasons that we do not know, we need him back in our center. We need him back to come and continue doing his work in our center. We do not know why he has been suspended. The commandant was here and he said he is not incorporated in any theft that was done on the 25th of February 2021. He's innocent. So why are they still keeping him outside? Why is he not working? We need him back in our center.
These cankerworm, they say, have been eating them up for long, but were scared to take brave action.
We would fear now for explain them, because you explain them, either they move you for work or they transfer you. But now I did 25 years for work for you. No change. Salary, no change. No change for anything.
With their toes down, they wish their top hierarchy and the government take quick actions towards better pay, grants of bonuses and awards, and most especially health coverage.
We do not have problem with anybody. All we want is our living condition to be changed.
Councillors in the opacity of Limbe in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon put through a training on the ongoing decentralization process for effective implementation of decentralization and finance laws within their respective municipalities for the growth, development and well-being of their municipalities and its people and their people. And of course, this was true during a workshop during which they were reminded that they will be accountable to the population. Davidson Maimo.
There is no academic criteria or level of education to have before one can become a municipal councillor. This, some political analysts opine, is the most contributing factor to the poor management of most councils, given that a good number of councillors do not master council text, with most having little interest of knowing. Added to this, public opinion or contribution by law is not allowed during council session. To make things worse, councillors most often are forced to toe party line rather than the interest of the population that voted them.
People just think decentralization is just about putting a mayor, put their budget and just all about. No, people have to take active parts in the activities of their municipality.
When you, a councillor, go to make a control about the budget, you must know how things are going, to how money is launching in the local communities.
These and more are some of the worries a local non-governmental organization seek to redress through the empowerment of councillors and the public on the decentralization and finance text.
Explain globally the general code and to highlight the part of the general code where the citizen participation are more increased. We want more people to know all those laws and to know all those techniques. We must know that the law now gives the right to the population to come to the council and ask information about all which is going on in the council.
According to one of the resource person, the regional delegate for local development, Chief Mukete Joseph Nebale, the public has the right to hold their councillors accountable.
You have the right as a citizen to question your mayor on certain projects, on certain issues that are not going well in your municipality.
He stressed party politics should not interfere with council management.
You cannot tell me that I have a project, a contract to be paid, and then I have to go and call the Minister of Finance or Minister of Decentralization to come and instruct the mayor to pay. Those bottlenecks are among us.
The seminar, which is the first phase of a pilot project involving 8 councils in Cameroon with 2 from the southwest regions, organizers regret mayors are lukewarm for councillors to take part.
Administrative officials in the Opankam Division, West Region of the Republic of Cameroon are stepping up the fight against coronavirus after 5 students of the Lycée Classique de Bafang were tested positive for coronavirus. Immaculate Fogwe has more.
The first and second wave of the coronavirus seems not to bother some students, like it is the case here at Government Technical School Abonnez in the Opankam Division, West Region. A good number of the students do not have their face mask on, with others disrespecting the 1 meter distancing measure. On the 9th of March 2021, 5 students of Lycée Classique of Bafang were tested positive. The spike in COVID-19 cases in school milieus in the Opankam Division has pushed the senior divisional officer to organize this meeting.
Pour 5 000 300 cas
Out of the 5,211 persons tested, 70 were tested positive. Within 9 months in the year 2020, 42 positive cases were registered. In 2021, we experienced a spike in cases as we registered over half of the number of cases we had in 2020. Luke Ndongo, the senior divisional officer of the Upper Camp Division, urged the entire population to be vigilant and respect government's anti-COVID-19 measures. According to Jean-Claude Abosolo, the district medical officer, out of the 70 positive cases registered, including 9 health personnel, 4 deaths were recorded between January 22nd and March 9th in 2021.
And the Southwest Regional Delegate of Public Health reveals that the second wave of the coronavirus is already recording cases in the Southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. And the Dr. Bongo Zaccheaus Nanje made the revelation on Tuesday, that is today, at the West Governor's Office during an evaluation meeting. There is Jato Fasindito Samboya.
The forces of law and order will be around to make sure that people wear their mask. And in all the checkpoints control, those who don't wear masks, they will dry their mask before they go back to in the public services. Let everybody wear a mask. If you don't wear a mask, you are not allowed to enter. In the markets, not men, at the main entrances of the market, put the hand washing points, as many as we can inside the market. The bar is more than 50. That is the general recommendation from the head of government. And the distanciation in the bar. When you see that those measures are not respected, you just close the bar. In the public transport, everybody, but public transport, in your car, I don't think, if you are driving your car alone, that is necessary for you to wear a mask. If it is a taxi with many other passengers, it is an obligation for you to wear a mask. To wear a mask.
From the indicators we have at our level, there is every reason to believe very strongly that we are already into the second wave. This is even so true if you look at our epidemiologic curve for the Southwest region. You realize that from the beginning of this year, we have registered an exponential increase in the number of cases of COVID-19. So what I think we should be doing is to get back to the drawing board, to go back to the measures that were prescribed by the government and WHO, and we start it all over again. That is to say, all the barrier measures must be reinforced, testing and sensitization must be reinforced, and everyone who thinks or who feels a bit sick with the signs, so either mimicking the signs or having the true symptoms or signs, should get to one of our centers, say Dr. just as the president himself said, and get treated, and get advice and get treated on time.
And Cameroon's Minister of Public Health, Dr. Manauda Malachi, says that the country is going to halt the importation of the AstraZeneca vaccine. And of course, before this announcement, our reporter Charles Sekome spoke to some Cameroonians on the choice of Cameroon to administer the AstraZeneca vaccine. And this is what they told him in this report.
The announcement made by the Minister of Public Health in Cameroon on the choice of the AstraZeneca vaccine in the fight against the plaguing coronavirus pandemic, Cameroonians have been keenly monitoring and observing the global controversies around the vaccine. because this growing COVID-19 pandemic has affected the entire globe by altering lives, as Cameroon now records 601 deaths as a result of this pandemic. Cameroonians have put to question the effectiveness of the AstraZeneca vaccine due to the fact that more than a dozen countries, mostly in Europe, have suspended the use of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine over fears the shot may have some recipients to develop blood clots. Sweden and Latvia became the latest nations to halt the rollout following moves by Germany, Italy, France, Spain, Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands, among others. While investigation is ongoing, the European Medicines Agency remains of the view that the benefits of the AstraZeneca vaccine in preventing COVID-19 outweighs the risks of possible side effects. The European Medicines Agency, EMA, Europe's medicines regulator, will meet on Thursday to discuss the information gathered to decide whether the vaccine contributed to the thromboembolic events in those inoculated. In a recent tweet, Cameroon Minister of Public Health makes it clear that he has submitted the problems concerning the side effects of the AstraZeneca vaccine to the Scientific Council, NITAG, for advice. However, reassurances appears to have done little to calm doubts in the minds of Cameroonians who are patiently waiting to see the next move of their government in the fight against the coronavirus pandemic.
And the Minister of Public Health of the Republic of Cameroon, as I said earlier, indicated that Cameroon is going to halt the importation of the AstraZeneca anti-COVID-19 vaccine after reports that the vaccine might possibly have some side effects, some negative side effects. And he went further to say Cameroon is seeking expert advice and will not in any way endanger the lives of citizens. It should be noted that South Africa equally halted the use of the vaccine due to studies that reveal that the AstraZeneca vaccine offers reduced protection from COVID-19, notably with regards to the South African variant of coronavirus. And the World Health Organization has called on countries to stop the administration of the AstraZeneca vaccine. Earlier, the World Health Organization backed the continuous use of the AstraZeneca vaccine after several countries had decided to suspend its rollout amid reports of some possible or people developing blood clot after receiving it. Take a listen to the director of the World Health Organization.
Since our last press conference on Friday, several more countries have suspended the use of AstraZeneca vaccines as a precautionary measure after reports of blood clots in people who had received the vaccine from 2 batches produced in Europe. This does not necessarily mean these events are linked to vaccination, but it's routine practice to investigate them. And it shows that the surveillance system works and that effective controls are in place.
So the recommendation at this point is that the risk-benefit of not vaccinating using AstraZeneca vaccines and other vaccines outweigh the risk of the COVID infection, which we know has a significant impact on people with severe disease, hospitalization, and death.
Coming up, meet the man who stopped at nothing to feed his family in Lesotho, South Africa. This story sheds a unique light on plight of Lesotho mining families. Katsi Yunus.
Ke ntse ke utlwisisa fela jwale ke utlwisisa hore ha o thwe monna ke nku ha le ha o tlile bohloko a ke a bontsha le o ntsa tla nna le o le motho motho ha ke ngala bang empa o tlile tla nna le dikunutu la hae. Jwale a bitse a re skono a sebetsa mining a le difika ga le motle go sebetsa mining ga e ne re go bolela go ke motho a ka mphisa ene ke bona go bile mone ke tlo phela o tla mphedisa hantle re tla ba le lelapa le letle
ke ke na le mo dingata ba ke dile mo ke na le 32 years be sebetsa mining o le mo go ga nna ka tshintshela mining le ba ga le le go ke batla go sebetsa mining ke bohloki go ba wele ke ne se ntate ida ga ka ta go hlokala ya ba ga le re se hula ka thata le mme ha ba tsara motho a ga supportang ka lapeng ka ka bona go go re le nna ke tsela ke go bona ona nga khona go sebetsa bang go mosadi mo lwana le go phela ke tla bona ga phela ba ke go di mining mo ke ka la di fela go re batho ba sebetsa mo le ba bang ka ntse phela ni a di ka go le diga ke go di ama go hata ke go di ama tshitso go tsaya tsa thutwa ke go di ya ntene bitlang TV thesis ba di feng di paola ba kwa itseng ke magwe wena magwe ana ha ona ntse a khona go ya go hula mo no ya tlo di batho ba ba de zona ka mo mo tlo di mo fela ba mo feta ko mo twa ka hatwa ke libe mo no sfateng se ha go hlola mo ntse ga mo feta ka ntse re fela ka sebetsa mo ya pe so sebetsa ka le 15 mo ndene ya ba yawa nna ke tsamaile ke lo khamisi agi tla yi ga le mo sa tsi agi tla tla sma ke papale ke lo go le fela la magwe a budi ke sa bona le jampi mano di mana ta batho ra ka batho ba makaema na wele go le ya le felang ke no wa ke mo vila o bana ke magwe fela ha ona le motho le ya mo ke mona batho ba fetse mo ngof ke be ke khutla ke lo reporta ke tlo se tsa bjang le ke tloile mine o tlo ngana go ena e ke se ke sebetsa fela wa nne ke na le ditlhoko nka bene ke tsamaya hona kana go ena e
gona bogaka dikgopo ha ile ha fihlile o tla fihla e le la bohlano e moqabelo tla fihla ka sonta ha sa fihlang ka mokotla tsamaya hangata ona di sa wisa wa
kineki ba wale a ke ne le wela mona mpuitse ka mokgwa ga tangati ya be se ke pesa ka tla
cha ta di bya mo goto ne ntse tshwara je e se ngakaloka kana to petile hore la ke sa tshwase le mona tse mo ga tlwele bala fela se nna go etelele go ga tlwele bala ha ona le motho a ile nga mo isa kae ka pokae e la itsetsa Hafo fajwale
Melo kam dunga anjum mbanga ka ke segi ki ngela shere de fra ka dunga mona ki tsamela ku mel ile tu me ya me tswa le fela go wa thaba le me tswa le ya ka mane sa zo de le ka bena mosai vale ha bua ile lo vale o tla ka bang
Coming up next, talking point. Thanks for joining us in Talking Points. We're receiving a political analyst and historian, Gentle Clovis. Thank you for joining us today.
Good evening, Babla, Jonathan, and the Équinoxe team. I'm happy to be here. I'm sure this is my second time I'm here for political issue.
Right. The national president of the Popular Action Party, Njang Dennis, says that O.C. Joshua's signature on the petition from some 60 members of parliament of the lower house of parliament in Cameroon to the American Congress over the security situation in the Cameroon was a serious scandal. O.C. Joshua is the first vice president of the Social Democratic Front, and according to Njang Dennis, the signature from a politician of his caliber, from a political party, notably of the opposition, and particularly the SDF, is the worst political blunder of his career. And now and tomorrow, the president of the PAP went further to say that he was expecting the SDF National Executive Committee resolution to request the immediate withdrawal of O.C. Joshua's signature, and for him to tender an apology to the oppressed population of his area, notably the Indian division, one of the hardest hit divisions in the northwest and southwest regions of the country, the crisis in the northwest and southwest regions. What do you think about this very tough and hard position of a politician against another opposition politician?
To an extent, O.C. Joshua being the first national vice president of SDF and 2018 flag bearer, being so outstanding that all Cameroonians know him. I think it's not only the PAP secretary that is condemning. He has received a lot of condemnation related to the fact that he participated or he signed his signatures on this particular letter written to the 40 members of the U.S. Congress, who were calling on the Joe Biden administration to repatriate more than 70,000 Cameroonians seeking asylum in the USA. I think it is I support the PAP Secretary General for that particular statement, because even in my own position, I asked why he had to participate without informing other members of the SDF, even the national chairman. Other members were not informed. They were only surprised to see his signature there, and he came on air to justify that there's a diplomatic reason why he was involved in signing his signature there. And it is very funny that a member of an Anglophone from Jan Division, he had 8 areas where as far as this crisis is concerned, and he went ahead to sign the letter with that informing other members. I think it's not only the PAP that is condemning other Cameroonians, especially members of SDF. We equally condemn him for participating or his signature to appear on that letter. That was so. It is somehow. I support the PAP president, particular, but it's a blunder, a political blunder.
Looking at the content of the letter, talking about the image of Cameroon being tarnished and misleading information about the socio-political and security tensions in Cameroon. Should he be killed? Should he be killed, so to speak? Should he be beaten from all directions simply because he signed a letter to protect the image of Cameroon, with the intention of saying that no, you people shouldn't talk about this thing in a way that is misleading, in a way that will tarnish the image of the country?
Mr. Babila, the key issue why Cameroonians are condemning the key issue about this particular letter is the fact that they wanted, according to they wanted more than 70 Cameroonians seeking asylum to come back to Cameroon, and we are very clear. It is very clear that the political atmosphere in North and Southwest related to the Anglophone crisis, we cannot pretend that the crisis has come to an end. People are still dying in North and Southwest. For a member of a political party like SDF, we all know the stand of SDF as far as Anglophone crisis is concerned. They have ever since been calling that they should put an end to this crisis. And take note, this political party did not participate in municipal and legislative election, and they have stand on many occasions to say no, that Anglophone crisis should be tabled on Cameroon Parliament, National Assembly, which is ongoing. But unfortunately, they have done nothing. For a member of a political party like SDF and Joshua Osit for that matter, who is the national vice president and been the 2018 flag bearer, to come and the reason why Cameroonians condemn him, especially members of SDF, is because he did not inform any other member by participating. And I stand by supporting Jack Derry that he was supposed to mount pressure during this.
But apart from being a member of the Social Democratic Front, above that, he is member of parliament, a parliamentarian of the nation, not a parliamentarian.
Yes, we are not refusing.
Political party or
we are not refusing, Mr. Babila Jonathan. We are saying that he, as a national, as a member of parliament, a parliament for the whole Cameroon, what part had he played to see that Anglophone crisis should be tabled to the Cameroon parliament? It is very funny that it's a parliament of different countries that are calling on the Cameroon government or the Cameroon parliament to table the Anglophone crisis. And he, as a member of parliament, what part has he played to table that Anglophone crisis should put to an end? Rather than writing, we are not refusing. He write the letter to protect the image of Cameroon, because according to U.S. Congress, those asylums should not be sent back to Cameroon related to the socio-political atmosphere.
He and his peers have been fighting for the crisis to be discussed in Parliament. They have been mounting pressure, protesting in Parliament, and all of that.
Yeah, Mr. Babila, is not enough. It's not enough. I support Janderi related to what his concerns letter related to Joshua Osei. Joshua Osei is member, is a flag bearer, and it is very clear now that we've seen in the last 2 weeks that the national chairman Fundi might resign, and we are seeing that the next person, the closest person that might take over the national chairman is Joshua Osei. So Cameroonians are looking, especially members of SDP, are looking at Joshua Osei as the next national chairman, the flag bearer of the Social Democratic Front. For him to take such a decision, he must consult other members. I think it's not only Janderi, even within the SDF, other members are not happy with him for participating without informing them. We are not refusing that he was trying to defend the image of Cameroon. But what about the party, the decision of the party ideologies or resolution as per whatever is going on in the country? So he was supposed to consult other members. Even he cannot consult other members, he was supposed to consult national chairman that I want to participate in this. Take note, on that letter, 59 are from CPDM and only very few, 2 from SD and other. By taking such a decision, it's a political blunder, and I support Janderi from related to what he has written on the letter.
President Janderi thinks that he should table an apology to the people who are suffering, notably in his area of origin
from Jan Division, Mr. Babila.
The rest of the 2 English-speaking regions for signing that letter.
Yeah, if I were in his shoe, I would also I would table an apology. That I apologize, because we know that he is also from Jan Division, and we have known the crisis as far as the Anglophone crisis concerned in Jan Division. And Mr. Babila, we should take note that in Jan Division, many Anglophones from Southwest who are in Nigeria as refugees are from Jan Division, because it's a neighboring and Manyo Division. So we to really tell you how hit the crisis going on in those remote areas in Jan and Manyo Division. For a person of his caliber to come and sign such a letter, he called for the concern, especially of Anglophones, because it keep showing to the world that we as a people, we are pretending about the Anglophone crisis. The crisis is going. People are dying, but we keep pretending and putting ourselves, our political interests first before the ordinary people and the people who are dying in the bushes.
The crisis is ongoing, people are dying, but does that mean that there is no hope? Because when we talk, the way you are talking now, somebody said in a seminar in Boya that when people keep using the word deepening crisis, it means that they don't want that it should come to an end. They are painting a kind of a hopeless situation.
No, when we say it's ongoing, we are not. We wish all Cameroonians wish that the crisis come to an end. We wish that the crisis come to an end, Mr. Babila. I think people of North and Southwest, they are tired of being refugees in Nigeria, tired of being IDPs in Douala, Yaoundé, and other part of this country. They are tired of poverty, hunger. They are tired of dying. We wish that the crisis will come to an end. But we will not sit on platform like this and be telling people that the crisis will come to an end. But we wish that it should come to an end. It has not come to an end, Mr. Babila Jonathan.
No, the authorities are saying that it is progressively moving towards an end, that things are improving positively in several parts of those.
Yeah, it's
not that the whole thing has come to an end.
Not that the whole thing has come to an end, but it's progressively. But the authority itself should look for a way to put an end to this crisis. We should not keep hoping and using time waste or delaying tactics. If there's a way that they can put an end to the crisis, put an end to it.
And the question is how to put an end to it. We'll not stop asking this question until the crisis comes to an end. How to put an end to it?
Many have called, and I keep calling. There was a dialogue, but we keep calling that there should be a sincere dialogue and honest dialogue with all the camps or the party involved to be on the platform to come to we call for a sincere, honest dialogue. All the parties that are involved, Party A and Party B, should be on the platform, on the table, and agree on how they can put an end to this crisis, Mr. Babila Jonathan. Even a newborn baby in Cameroon knows how they can put an end to Anglophone crisis. Call the parties involved, let them sit on the table. You are a Cameroonian, I am a Cameroonian. What can we do to put an end to this crisis? What do you want me to do? What are you saying that Cameroon should be separate? What do you say that what's their own concern or idea concerning Cameroon? Let's agree on it, and then we are all Cameroonians. The issue of ambassador and others, that's just normal talking that people are talking. We are all Cameroonians. We wish for a better Cameroon. You are not a better Cameroon than me because you are an administrative authority, or because you are because you are a president or parliamentarian. No, you are a better Cameroon than me because you are patriotic. You think positively for Cameroon. We want the Cameroonians cannot be suffering. People who are talking that there are still children in nowhere and who are not going to school. There are still children in nowhere and who cannot afford what to feed on. And we are praying that they should put an end to this crisis by again coming to sit on the platform, on a table, and dialogue. We are all Cameroonians. Nobody is more Cameroonian than the other. Right. We should be clear about this.
Gentle Clovis, political analyst and historian, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks very much, Mr. Babila Jonathan.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for staying with us. Équinoxe comes up next.